Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. The bigger picture, only on Money FM 89.3.
Welcome to The Bigger Picture. We are currently in the midst of China's extended 8-day Golden Week holiday period. And the question we are asking today, is it the golden hour moment for the country's tourism industry? Early numerical evidence seems to suggest this might be the case. On October the 1st alone, passenger trips totaled nearly 336 million, according to the Ministry of Transport. China's railways on the same day carried 23 million passengers, a record single-day figure. And total trips outside mainland China are forecast to reach between 8 million and 8.4 million. That's more than double the 3.8 million recorded for the holiday last year. Online travel agency Trip.com has uncovered several key shifts in the way Chinese travelers are planning or have planned trips for this holiday. And we're about to get into the details of said shifts with Edmund Ong. He is the general manager at Trip.com Singapore. Good morning, Edmund.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, nice to have you on. Now, this year's Golden Week overlaps, of course, with both China's National Day and the Mid-Autumn Festival, creating what's being called a super holiday. Beyond just the extra days off, Edmund, what's really fueling this surge in Chinese travel demand right now?
Right, absolutely. As you have correctly pointed out, so this year, because it coincides with the Mid-Autumn Festival, if you stretch the days with your leave, you can actually create a longer holiday period, up to 8 to 12 days for many travelers. So as such, we are seeing Chinese travelers taking longer breaks, plan further in advance, and travel abroad in much larger numbers, particularly across the Asia-Pacific region. And some of the trends we notice would be that the bookings have actually recorded triple-digit year-on-year growth, again fueled by the extended holiday window. And Asia continued to lead in terms of outbound destination. So Japan and South Korea remain the top outbound destinations. Southeast Asian markets like Thailand, Malaysia, and of course Singapore are also in the top 5. But at the same time, we are seeing demand expanding well beyond the traditional hubs. Island and seaside locations such as Cebu, Phuket, Okinawa, and Jeju are among the fastest growing destinations. If we then look at the long-haul side, Europe is seeing double-digit and triple-digit gains with cities like Dusseldorf and Frankfurt leading growth. Middle East and Africa for the Chinese travelers are emerging as new hotspots, with Doha bookings up about 400%, followed by Abu Dhabi, and Johannesburg has actually grown about 232%.
The trends that you've just outlined for this year, how do they differ from what we saw in past Golden Weeks?
We are seeing a clear evolution of how travelers are planning and experiencing their holidays, especially those from China, making their booking way in advance as opposed to the previous year. So they are no longer booking last minute. Again, with the Golden Week stretching for up to 12 days, some are planning more complex itinerary.
Okay, let's come to Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Joburg then, which saw triple and quadruple digit growth. Edmund, what's drawing Chinese travelers to these emerging markets, and are they potentially new frontiers for Chinese tourism?
I think in a way it does, because I think the momentum we are seeing is quite exciting. So a big part of this comes to curiosity and confidence. So Chinese travelers are increasingly open to explore beyond traditional hotspots like Japan, Korea, and Thailand. They're looking for fresh experiences, better value, and destinations that offer a mix of culture and accessibility. And that's exactly what places like Doha, Abu Dhabi, Johannesburg can provide. Again, many of these cities have actually invested heavily in tourism infrastructure and connectivity over the past few years. New hotels, direct flight routes, world-class airports, and created cultural attractions. For example, Doha actually saw a 441% year-on-year growth surge in bookings, followed by strong growth in Abu Dhabi. I think this destination combines heritage, luxury, appealing to both first-time visitors and repeat travelers seeking something different. Similarly, Johannesburg bookings are up to 232%, driven by its position as both a gateway to South Africa nature attraction like Kruger National Park and as a vibrant urban destination in its own right. What we are seeing is Chinese travelers, they are moving from safe and familiar to new and aspirational. And that's opening up a whole new wave of opportunities for airlines, hospitality brands, and even tour operators to build deeper connections with a new generation of outbound Chinese travelers.
And of course, the weather is much cooler in the cities that you've just mentioned, so a good chance for Chinese travelers to escape the heat. In terms of the profile of travelers, are you seeing major differences between Gen Z travelers and older demographics like millennials or boomers in terms of where they're going and how they're spending?
Gen Z travelers are actually driving up a sharp rise in alternative accommodation. We're seeing more of these Gen Z travelers. From our data, hostel bookings alone jumped about 240% year on year, probably due to their pricing and social atmosphere. I think this younger cohort is also fueling growth in homestay, rockans, service apartment and villa. This reflects a desire for variety and unique experiences. Older travelers like me will lean towards traditional hotels and curated comfort. But Gen Z, I think they are reshaping the landscape with flexible, budget-conscious choices that prioritize community and authenticity. Their influence is especially visible during Golden Week, where outbound accommodation bookings overall post triple-digit growth.
There's also been mention of travelers booking earlier and being more strategic. Does that reflect a shift in mindset towards more intentional travel planning, or is it simply about competition for better deals and availability?
It's really a combination of both. Booking earlier typically enables travelers to get better deals, but travelers are also becoming more intentional. This year, the average lead time for outbound travel booking increased by about a week compared to last year. This tells us that our members, our travelers are planning further ahead, not just to secure prices, but to build the kind of experiences they really want. Longer holidays like Golden Week give them more time to combine different destinations, explore secondary cities, and make more meaningful use of their break. Another factor that we saw is the reopening and expansion of flight routes, particularly between China, Southeast Asia, and Middle East. This has made it easy to plan complex trips further in advance. We've seen this even for events like the F1 Singapore, where early announcement of dates and routes help to drive bookings further in advance. We think that the travelers are actually learning that booking sooner ensure better flight options and smoother itineraries.
Edmund, this kind of holiday period usually creates a ripple effect across the economy. So the final question is, what kind of impact or domino effect is this travel boom having on related industries like airlines, hotels, car rentals, and the broader hospitality market?
All right, that's a good question. We are seeing three clear impacts from this shift in traveler behavior. I believe that each has strong relevance to Singapore. Firstly, diversification of travelers' flow. Travel is no longer concentrated in a few major hubs. While cities like Tokyo, Seoul, and Singapore remain popular, destinations such as Cebu, Jeju, Okinawa, Nanchang, Phuket, and Perth are benefiting from strong demand. In Europe, Dusseldorf and Frankfurt are emerging along traditional flavors like Rome and Barcelona. I think this helps ease pressure on overcrowded destinations. It spreads tourism spending more even and create opportunities for Singapore to position itself as a gateway to both established and emerging markets. Number two, the growth in aviation links and connectivity. I think the surge in demand for destinations like Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Johannesburg is driving airline and government to expand routes and capacity. Now, for Singapore, this growth in aviation links is highly relevant. Changi continues to serve as a strategic hub connecting travelers from China and beyond to Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. Increased connectivity also translates into more stopovers, stronger transit flows, and opportunity to spend time in Singapore as part of multi-city itinerary. The third trend, the earlier booking reshaped branding and marketing strategy. Chinese travelers are securing Golden Week trips earlier than before, with the average lead time moving by a week before, as I pointed out earlier on. This shift allowed airlines, hotels, and tourism boards to forecast demand better and plan more effectively around peak periods. Importantly, I think the operators are turning to AI and technology to refine their destination marketing and product strategies. Singapore, we are being very proactive here. The Singapore Tourism Board partnership with OpenAI is a good example of how AI can be harnessed to promote local experiences more effectively and engage travelers with personalized recommendations. In short, these shifts are not only transforming global travel dynamic, but also reinforcing Singapore's role as both a destination and a hub. We will capture more value from this diverse flow.
All right. We are in the midst of the 8-day Golden Week holiday period in China, which coincides with the week-long National Day celebration and the Mid-Autumn Festival. And we've been uncovering some key shifts in the way Chinese travelers are planning or have planned trips for this holiday with Edmund Ong, General Manager, Trip.com Singapore. Edmund, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stay with Money FM 89.3.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance.
Money FM 89.3.